The average age of referral is 21. As I say, we accept referrals for young people over the age of 13, parents of young people. We offer support via parents groups, but also one-to-one support with the family therapist for parents of young people under the age of 18. The average age when gaming became a problem was 15, and what we found is 50% present with either autism or ADHD, mainly young men or men, so 90%. Half identify as white, 20% as Asian, and 15% as black. And the outcomes in terms of treatment were that 64% showed improvement. I'm going backwards now. No, sorry. Here we go. No, I've turned it off now. Help. Oh, here we go. I don't think that's me. So, thank you. So if we could do the next slide. So, gaming disorder is actually identified under the International Classification of Diseases. So it's got an ICD-11 criteria, which is there. I'm not going to read it out. If we could do the next slide. And it's also got DSM-5 criteria. So it's an internationally recognised problem. DSM-5 recognises other disorders like alcohol, tobacco, stimulants, and also gambling disorder. If we could do the next slide. So this is the criteria. So preoccupation with games, withdrawal symptoms when gaming is taken away, attempts to control it which have been unsuccessful, loss of interest in hobbies and entertainment, continued use of games despite other problems, problems with family members, use of games to cope with a negative mood, and jeopardise relationship, education or career. And you'll see that a lot of this from a couple of the case studies I'll give you. So if we could do the next slide. So, what is gaming disorder? As I say, gaming's part of our everyday world. Probably a lot of people here have got games on their phone. But if you're unable to control or stop gaming, gaming becomes more important than anything else, and you're gaming despite negative consequences, then you think there's a problem. If we could do the next slide. So, gaming has a function for a lot of people. So it can be an escape, avoidance of negative feelings. You can get rewards from completing levels or staying alive or winning at solitaire. And also there's connection and communication with other people. Most of the young people we see for support are members of online forums. They speak to other people. Sometimes it's the only people they speak to is online. We could do the next slide. So, as I said, a couple of case studies really tells you a bit more about the sort of type of people we're seeing. So, Alex, we'll call him Alex, is a 16-year-old who lives with his parents. He's been gaming since he was 8 years old, first on his Xbox, but he's now progressed to his PC. In the beginning, his gaming was not excessive. He spent only a couple of hours a day on the weekend and after sports, sometimes in the evenings after school. His parents said that his gaming intensified 5 years ago, which coincided with the COVID lockdown. He lost structure in his school routine, disruption to his education, and difficulty being able to see his friends, and he turned to gaming to relieve some of the boredom with that. During this time, his parents became really concerned about his wider mental well-being, and he's since been diagnosed with depression. He reports that his gaming provides him with a distraction and escape from how he feels. He's also said that he doesn't see his gaming as an issue, and his parents exaggerate how bad the problem is. They tried to reduce the time he spent by taking his PC away, but he became aggressive towards his parents, which is something we see an awful lot of. He's also self-harmed. His parents put on time restrictions on the Wi-Fi at home, but it didn't stop him. He hotspotted his PC from his mobile phone. The gaming's got wider implications for his parents' mental health, and it's caused tension in their marriage. Since going back to school, he's been unable to focus on classes, his grades have reduced, he's gaming into the early hours of the morning, he's got an unbalanced sleep cycle, and he's often refusing to go to school. At the time of his assessment, he was gaming between 8 to 10 hours a day, mostly on games like Fortnite or Roblox. He reported to have spent all his money from his birthdays and Christmas on in-game currency and to buy something you may be familiar with called skins. And he's also stolen his parents' credit card to purchase more. So he was referred to the National Gaming Clinic by his parents to get help with his gaming use. So probably quite an average sort of case that we see of a young person. Second one is an adult. So John is a 30-year-old man who lives on his own. He's got a 10-year history of gaming, and over the last few years it's really become an issue, and it's getting in the way of a lot of other things in his life, so he's approached us for help. John was an only child, and his parents separated when he was 7, and he went to live with his father and a new partner. And when he was 10, his mother sadly passed away. He feels that really affected him, and it affected his confidence in terms of meeting new people, and he became really isolated. From the age of 14, he started playing on a PlayStation, playing FIFA and Call of Duty, and it helped him socialise and meet other people, and he got a sense of purpose. So his dad and his stepmom encouraged him with his education and helped him limit some of the gaming, and he managed to pass his GCSEs and A-levels. John feels he may suffer from ADHD, but once he left home he really struggled academically without structure and routine. He felt isolated when he was at university in a new city away from his family, and he came to rely more and more on gaming for his socialising, if you like. And at times he'd game from 12 p.m. until 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. He neglected his self-care in terms of eating healthily and washing, again, which is something we see an awful lot of. People just eating junk food or eating nothing, not washing or bathing. So John dropped out of university halfway through the second year and moved back to his dad's. Then he got an online job with a telecom company, and things went well for a time, and he moved in with a girlfriend. But for the last 2 years, he started to gain more and more. Work's become affected, and he's constantly distracted by gaming. He can work from home most of the time, and he's gaming for up to 12 hours a day and most of the weekend, and his girlfriend's threatened to leave him, so then he's come to us. So that really gives you a flavour of some of the sort of complexity of the people we see. Yeah, if we could move on to the next slide. So these are some of the games we see. And there's a huge array of different games. Most of them are multiplayer, as I say. What we see is young people socialising online. We see an awful lot of aggression, very complex young people in terms of mental health and diagnosis. But once their parents recognise it as a problem and they're not going to school, when they try to sort of withdraw their access to gaming, there's an awful lot of aggression towards the parents. And if we could just move on. So, the technology you see in gaming, similar to what people can access with online gambling, the graphics are really immersive. There's a reward factor, and the sort of ratios and intervals and the positive reinforcement make it very, very addictive. And the stimuli, which is sort of removed, creates a negative reinforcement. If we could go on. So, dopamine is released when you're playing games, similar to if you win at gambling, if you win at roulette. And repeatedly, it can change the neural connections and pathways, anticipation of rewards, you can get dopamine saturation, and it can increase your risk-taking, which is underdeveloped with young people. If we could move on. That's the last slide. So, yeah, as I say, we see probably 300 to 400 referrals a year. It's a very, very small team. We rely a lot on voluntary staff, although we have a consultant psychiatrist, a CBT therapist, a family therapist, and some voluntary psychologists. It's a CBT-based model. Treatment can last from 6 to 9 months generally. You can refer young people or adults can refer. The first step is to link in with our website and you can make an online referral. So yeah, that's us. Thank you very much.